Hi guys, Dip here. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a new viewer, thank you for joining us. And if you're a returning viewer and subscriber, things are about to get pretty weird, okay? Given that most of our uploads are memes, and I guess I'm doing song covers now, which I'm not too sure about what that's about either, but I thought I'd try something new today. So that's this video. What in specific? Well, I wanted to talk about stock investing, the stock market, and just some general concepts about it. Maybe asking, well, why this in specific? Why finance? You know, you could talk about anything else. Why finance? Well, this is because I've been talking to some of my friends about it, about investing, and there's just some concepts that, well, I I, I can't really explain well in person. So I thought I'd take some time, do some research, and then just put it out in the form of a video, which is this. And I could just send that to them and explain basically what I was talking about or what I'm referring to when I'm talking about specific terms in stock investing. I am by no means an expert when it comes to this. I'm more of like an enthusiast. I watch a lot of videos from a particular YouTuber under the name of, well, not under the name, this is his legal name, Sensei Graham Stephan. I'll link his channel in the description if you want to check that out after. But I've really found his videos to be quite informative, and I think it's just a great place to start if you're new to investing and you want to learn more. Don't click off this video yet. You know, I still haven't finished this video, but you know, if you're interested after, then please go ahead by all means and check out his channel. Well, I guess if I want to explain what stock investing is and what the stock market is in general, I would have to start with what is a stock, right? If you're going to engage with the stock market, you got to understand what a stock is. So a stock is basically a fraction of a business which you own if you're a buyer or like a holder of the stock, right? So there are a lot of businesses out there, and some of them are public. Basically, their companies listed under a ticker or like a name on the stock market, which you can buy, and that basically makes you an owner, like a fractional owner of the company. So why would you want to buy stock, and what are the benefits of holding on to or buying and selling stock, right? So generally, if you're investing in businesses, you're looking to get some sort of profit out of your investment. That makes sense, right? If I put in $10, I'm looking to get back a bit more than $10, right? It would be kind of stupid if I put in $10 and I took out, I don't know, like $5. That would be kind of counterintuitive. So if you're investing in a company, you're generally looking at their finances and determining whether or not this company will make you money in the long term. So how does that happen? Well, basically, it's sort of like supply and demand sort of thing, right? So if I buy a stock from a company and they're doing really well and their finances are, well, booming, let's say, after a particular year of business, then their stock price will adjust accordingly, right? If the company is doing really well, then more people will want to be owners of that company. That makes sense, right? So you can own companies, you can hold on to their stock, and over time, if they're doing well, they will appreciate in value, and you can sell it whenever and make a profit. So that's like your reward for buying into their business, investing in them, and holding the stock. So that's the general concept of investing in stocks. But what happens when you're holding these stock is there are some entitlements that you're also guaranteed, right? Some of these companies will give out what is called a dividend. A dividend is basically like your part of the profit of the company, right? So let's say there's a company, I'm not going to name specifics, but let's say there's a company and it's building and shipping products, right? And they're making profit from that, and that profit, given that you are a fractional owner of the business, you are entitled to a specific cut of it, right? So depending on how the company is run, They will give out monthly, quarterly, biannually, or annually, give out dividends, which is basically just like a payment, as like, hey, thanks for buying our stock and holding it onto it. This is like your portion of our profit, right? Some companies will not do this, however. What they'll tend to do is they'll reinvest into the business, right? Maybe thinking, well, that's not good because I'm not getting any money back out from my investment, right? But what tends to happen if the business is investing well into the business is the actual value of the stock and of the individual stock will go up in accordance, and maybe even more than whatever the dividend is worth, right? Let's say a company is giving out like $1 a year, right, as a dividend. They can either pay it out to you, get $1, or they can reinvest it, and maybe if the investment is worth it, make the price of the actual individual stock will go up by more than $1, which is really beneficial. So that's all good, right? But if you're looking to buy stock, then there are some limitations, let's say. So if you're like me and you're not really, I don't know, holding on to thousands of dollars in cash, you're not going to be able to buy some of these businesses in, I guess, the numbers that you would like, right? So let's say I want to buy a stock of a specific company, and the price per stock is like $500, and I don't have that on hand right now. So what can I do, right? I still want to invest in this company, but I can't really buy like half a stock, right? That doesn't work. You can't go into a dealership and then buy half a car. That doesn't really work either. So what you can do is there are basically these index funds, as they're called, or sometimes you might have heard of them as ETFs. But the general premise is it's like a basket of stocks, right? So let's say I want to buy a stock each of 3 companies, right? Let's say stock A is worth $200 per stock. Stock B is 300, and then stock C is like 100, right? So that might be $600 in total if I want to buy one of each, but I don't have $600, right? I only have, let's say, 200, and I want to invest in all 3 of them. What can I do? So there might be index funds out there, which lets you put in $200, and it's like the equivalent of owning the 3 companies, right? And the general premise of this is diversification. What is diversification? It's when you are trying to avoid over investing in just one specific part of the market, right? Let's say you invest in all your funds into just say perhaps agriculture, or maybe even electric cars, right? Electric cars, they're pretty hot at the moment, but the company is unable to keep up with the orders, and as a result, the value of the stock has gone down because the business is just not keeping up with the demand. So what happens is you put all your money into the one business, and if the business is not doing well, then you're going to lose a lot of money, which is not good. So what you want to do is you want to diversify and buy into these ETFs, these index funds, and what they do is they take the responsibility of just diversifying your portfolio for you, right? There's some that invests into the S&P 500, which is like the top 500 companies in America by market cap, and you get like a lot of value for that. But there are some associated fees as well, maybe, but you're gonna have to look into the fine print for that, right? But generally, these are really good if you're new to investing and you don't really know which stock to pick or which ones you're interested in buying. Then this is like a good all-rounder in terms of investing, right? And given that you're owning, like, it's the equivalent of owning those stocks individually, but just in like a smaller, I guess, portion. You're also entitled to dividends. This may range from maybe 1%, 3%, 5%. So you also get dividends from index funds as well. So in terms of dividends, there's also this thing called dividend investing, where you're basically just buying stock from businesses and just holding on to them, right? And then you can basically just have passive income. You're just holding on to those stock, and then what happens is you're just getting paid dividends throughout the year, and you don't have to do anything, right? That's pretty good. But what you want to think about is also the financial viability of these businesses, right? Let's say you buy into a business, and well, the yield, let's say, is pretty good. It's like 15%. That's really good. 15% annually of whatever the price of the stock is. That's great. The yield is amazing. But if the business is also not doing so well, right? Let's say the actual value of the stock is going down each year, then of course the yield is going to look really good compared to the actual price of the stock. But if the stock is depreciating in value more than the actual dividend is worth, then you're actually making a net loss, right? So you want to avoid that and try to diversify your portfolio, and also do some research into it. But that's more of an advanced sort of technique, right? If you're new to investing, stick to index funds. They're really good. They've also performed really well compared to just like businesses that or I guess companies that manage your money for you, right? Overall, like the benchmark is either you beat the market or you don't beat the market, right? But if you're investing into the market at regular intervals, then you're set, right? So each year you might get around maybe a 10%. This is subject to the conditions and I guess circumstances of the time, but generally 10% annual return is pretty good on your money, right? This is every year you get 10%. The value of your portfolio, which is all the stocks that you own, goes up by 10%. So that's really good. And over the course of, let's say, 10, 20 years, you're going to have a lot of money if you are investing regularly. So there's also a specific term that I would like to reference here. Dollar cost averaging is really great. Basically, given that the market is always in flux, it's always going up and down depending on the conditions of the market. Dollar cost averaging is like a really good way to not only diversify your investments in companies, but also diversify in the sense of like the actual individual cost of the stock, right? So let's say you have $1,000 and you want to invest it into the market. You could just buy $1,000 worth of an index fund on just one particular day, whenever you're feeling lucky, right? But then all your money is tied down to that one specific date, right? So if the value of the stocks in your basket of stocks, right, if it goes up, then it's great. But if it goes down, then you're sort of at a loss there, right? So dollar cost averaging is basically just the concept of splitting up that investment into just like regular intervals throughout time, right? So instead of, let's say, just investing it all in one day, you can split it up like once a week throughout maybe 3 months, or once a week throughout a couple like maybe 1 month. And that way you're not only just diversifying your portfolio, but you're also ensuring that you're getting a decent average of the market. So you don't have to worry about having to beat a specific target or anything right like that, right? With that being said, I think that's everything that I wanted to cover. But thank you for listening. If this has been helpful in any way, then leave a like, subscribe if you're into this sort of video. And if you're not, well, I've got some memes in the channel as well, so check those out. Maybe down here, there, somewhere. You'll know where they are, right? But thank you for being here, and have a great day. Goodbye.